Welcome to the Saints Sports Corner. We got a great show for today. We're going to be talking about the 2026 schedule release. We also going to be talking about the potential Saints record for this upcoming season. And also, we're going to dive into the schedule to see if the Saints really are a playoff contender in 2026. We got a lot more of that on the Saints Sports Corner.
Yeah. Who that? Who that? Who that said they gon' beat them Saints? A win is a win by a mile or an inch. It's any given Sunday when we battling in the trenches. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Die hard even after an L. Still reppin' in my section, yelling outside the dome, going home. Who that? We that? Black and gold soul, that's my song. Who that? We that? Who that? We that? Touchdown Saints putting points on the board is how my squad steady winning. Sacks on D, turnovers, wow, don't even think about. Coming back, it's already late in the fourth now. We that, who that, we that, who that, who that, who that. 4,000-yard QB, 1,000-yard rusher, 1,200-yard receiver, straight pressure. Lockdown corner, throw that ball if you want it. TFL's in the backfield, boy, we on you. Black and gold, so that's what I'm all about. Forget about the division, the Saints run the South. Who that, we that. Who that? We that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that?
Welcome in, Saints fans. You already know what it is, Who That Nation. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If y'all subscribe, I appreciate it, man. But without further ado, man, let's just dive right in. I know you all excited about the 2026 schedule release. I know you guys are all excited about breaking down the schedule, but you know me, I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna tell you the actual factuals. I'm not gonna pull no punches. I'm not gonna hold nothing back. I'm gonna let you know the exact things that I'm thinking when it comes to this schedule, when it comes to the 2026 schedule, this upcoming season. We got some talent. We still young. You know, we looking for veterans. We looking for playmakers. We looking for Pro Bowlers. But let's just dive right in. Let's just jump right into it. Now, we know that there's been a lot of chatter about Tyler Shough this whole offseason. We also know that a lot of people in the NFL has been hyping up the Saints, been hyping up this division, been hyping up other teams like the Falcons, hyping up other teams like the Panthers, about how everybody got better. Also the Bucks. You know, you can't forget about the Bucks. The Saints said they want to be more explosive. They want to score more points. We know that. The Saints got a ton of wide receivers. We got a ton of running back help, a ton of offensive line help. So now this is the season of becoming. Can we become who we think we are, or do we still got to grow? Are there going to be some growing pains? Of course there are going to be growing pains, but we want to see if the Saints can make the playoffs this season. So let's just dive right in. Let's just dive. Week 1 at Detroit. Detroit wasn't as good last year. But make no mistake, Detroit has a boatload of talent, a ton of talent. Wide receiver stacked, running back stacked, quarterback solid. Defense probably going to be back healthy. This is a sneaky team. I would think guys like Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, guys like that, Alvin Kamara, will be joining to go for a Super Bowl run. That was my prediction. Just to go help out Dan Campbell, because they're probably are primed to get a nice playoff spot in that division. You know, they really just battling the Packers. The Bears are up and coming, even though the Bears were in the playoffs. So I think that the Lions will be a bounce back team. They kind of had that year like the Saints had the year before they won the Super Bowl, where it just looked like they was never going to figure out the defense. They was never going to figure out the running game. But I see the Detroit Lions as a dark horse Super Bowl contender this upcoming season if they stay healthy. So this is a fascinating one. This one right here, when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, will be an early test. Now, I'm not as sold on the defense collectively when it comes to the Detroit Lions, but they're still a quality team. They're still a team that has been somewhere. They're still a team who have made the playoffs the last 3 years. They're still a team that has been in the playoffs over the past few years, and not last year. But so Dan Campbell is a really good coach. He comes from the Sean Payton era, so you know he's gonna bring it. Like he said, he wants to put his best player on your worst donkey. So it's gonna be a faster one. Now, this is the one we need to be talking about. Can Kellen Moore keep up in a shootout against Dan Campbell in that offense? If it comes to that, now that he got all his weapons and receivers and running backs and toys and tight ends and all of these other things, can Kellen Moore call a game where he could get in a shootout and air that thing out and run that thing down Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions' throat? It remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. I haven't seen this side of Kellen. I haven't seen this side of Tyler Shough. But we're going to find out. This is the first high-level prove-it game for Tyler Shough. You want to cement yourself as the New Orleans Saints' foreseeable future and current quarterback. You want to put all the doubts. You want to stamp. You want to put exclamation points, periods, and everything else on your quarterback position and leave no doubt. What a way to start week one. But got to be realistic. I think this is a nail. I think the Saints start out 0-1 when it comes to this. Based on where we are at now, I think this is a loss right here. This is a loss. Week 2 at Baltimore. At Baltimore. Man, look, that is tough. That environment, if you never played in that environment before, listen, that's going to be a hard-hitting defensive. I just don't think the Saints have a defense to stop Lamar Jackson. I don't think the Saints have a defense to stop any running quarterback. It remains to be seen. It has never happened. And until it happens, I'm not going to go against the grain. We have not had a defense to slow, contain anything when it comes to running quarterbacks. I don't care who it was. It could be a quarterback like Baker Mayfield. We just don't have the answers for it. And until the Saints staff, whoever the staff is, Brandon Staley and whoever, and company, until we have a defense that can prove it can slow down mobile quarterbacks, I'm not even in the mindset to even discuss. But on the offensive side, this is another high-level prove-it game for Tyler Shough. Why? Because the Baltimore Ravens defense are always amongst one of the best in the NFL. Always. Always amongst one of the best. So Tyler Shough has his work cut out for him. He got new toys. He got his work cut out for him. So he going to have to put up a shut up. You won't be the guy. You won't be that franchise quarterback. You won't be the dog. Here's your time to bark. Here's your time to announce yourself to the world and let them know the Saints are back. You can start out 1-1 and 2-0, and you still gonna get the same type of love. Because on this schedule, it looks like 0-2. It looks like 0-2. But if Tyler Shough do what we think he can do, it'll be good to see his maturity grow from year 1 to year 2 and see how he handles the NFL going against some stiff early competition in the beginning. But gotta be honest with y'all guys again. I think this is another loss. Not because the Saints can't play with them, mainly because mobile quarterbacks is a thorn in our side, and we have yet to catch up or figure out this mobile quarterback era in the NFL. under Sean Payton. When Sean Payton gone, it really don't matter. We just can't stop mobile quarterbacks. I know it's hard for most of the league, but some guys do a really good job of just containing him. Can't stop him, but some guys do a good job of containing him. And it don't matter who it is when it comes to the Saints and running quarterbacks. We don't do a good job of containing mobile quarterbacks. So 0-2, the Saints start out the season. Week 3, the Raiders. Here we go. Tyler Shough at home, 3:25 p.m. Young quarterbacks. Quarterback going into year 2. And Fernando Mendoza with the Raiders. A young QB duel. Black and gold versus black and silver. This should be a good one at home. I think the Saints take this one. I think this will be a get-right game after that 0-2. This should be a one the Saints win comfortably. This should be one that, kind of a pick-me-up game, because the Saints, we all know that they're still in year 2 of this rebuild. They're still in year 2 of this rebuild. And it's going to take some time. But as far as this game go against the Oakland Raiders, they should be better than the Oakland Raiders right now. On paper, at least. It's any given Sunday. It's the NFL. Anybody can beat you any given Sunday. But as far as now, when it comes to talent, the Saints should, key emphasis on should, be better than the Raiders. So for this game, week 3, I'm giving the Saints a win at home against the Raiders. They're now 1-2. Against the Falcons. You already know what time it is. This don't have to be explained. The Saints have a night game. A Monday night game. Against the Atlanta Falcons. On the 20th anniversary of the reopening of the Dome against the Atlanta Falcons. You already know what happened during that game. This should be one the Saints absolutely put a whipping on our division rival. And on top of that, announce that this division is ours. Early. First division game, got to come up with that win. Now, Atlanta is much better, but they have a lot of quarterback concerns. So, quarterback concerns means there's still a chance. We haven't seen Michael Penix quite live up to the expectation yet. Neither has Tyler Shough. He showed flashes. Michael Penix also showed flashes. But consistency, we haven't seen it. So, I'm going to get the Saints another win for this game. This should be an absolutely whipping. The dome should be loud. The crowd should be rocking. The new wide receivers on this turf should be getting yacked. The new running backs should be bursting through home. The new offensive line should be getting off of blocks. It should be absolutely ruckus. Can the pass rush get home, though? Can our pass rush get home if Cam Jordan is not on the team? This is what I want to see. This is my biggest question mark for the season. Do the Saints have enough pass rush against the NFL? Do the Saints have the pass rush that could potentially wreak havoc on the NFL this upcoming season? My biggest question marks by far. We don't have an elite pass rusher. We have a pass rusher with elite traits, but he haven't shown that he's an elite pass rusher yet consistently. Just haven't. Does that mean he won't this year? No. He could go out there and have 15, 16, 17 and a half sacks and shut me up. But based on history, it has not been likely. That's all I'm saying. So the Saints 2-2. They beat the Falcons, mollywopped the Falcons on Monday night. Okay. Then home again. So you got a 3-game stand while you're home against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I thought Spencer Rattler would be traded to the Minnesota Vikings. So this should have been like a homecoming. But Without further ado, it's the Shough era now. You got Justin Jefferson coming back to Louisiana in the Dome, where he won a national championship against Tyler Shough and a guy he's tutoring in Jordan Tyson. So this should be a fun one. It should be fireworks. It should be an offensive assault. Again, is Kellen Moore capable of calling a game to where he can go point for point with some of the offensive or coordinators amongst the NFL elite? Is Kellen Moore an elite play caller when he have to be? That's the question. Can he go up against a Kevin O'Connell, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, guys like that, a Ben Johnson? Do he have the moxie with the team that he's building? We're not talking about Philadelphia Eagles. For all you want to bring up the Philadelphia, that stacked team. We're talking about the team that he builds. Is he capable of putting his team in position to win? That's what we're talking about. With the players that he drafted, with the offense that he's building. Year 2 for Tyler Shough. A 3-game homestand. Can he get the dub? I'm going to say against the Minnesota Vikings. It's another L at home. Why? Not because they can't win. I just think the Minnesota Vikings have the better play caller in Kevin O'Connell. Like they just do. Now, they did a good job against Kyler Murray last year. So maybe this one is going to be iffy. I can see this going either way. But I'm going to just say loss. Because Kyler Murray still is a veteran quarterback. And again, he has the mobility feature. He has the mobility aspect. And you know my saying. The Saints have to prove they can stop mobile quarterbacks. Haven't seen it. Still waiting on it to be done. So, Saints are 2-3. Okay. Away against the New York Giants. Ooh. All the crap the Saints have been giving the New York Giants this offseason. Jackson Dart versus Tyler Shough. This is going to be a juice. This may be a new rival in the NFL. This Saints versus this Tyler Shough versus Jackson Dart in the same draft class tied together. This is going to be they've been hearing it too. A healthy Malik Neighbors. This is going to be two young teams that's building, two organizations that are looking to reestablish themselves in the NFC. This look like it's going to be a nice track meet. I don't think any of them going to have superb defense. I think the Giants have better defensive players, but I think at the end of the day, this is a tough one too. For the Saints, I'm going to say it's a win because the Saints fans have to save face for giving Jackson Dart hell all offseason. So hopefully our players can embody that and actually get this dub. So I'm going to say the Saints are 3-3. 3-3. I'm going to say they sneak out this one with a close win and they continue to bragging about how Tyler Shough is better than Jackson Dart. And they continue to piss the New York Giants fans off. And they continue to harass them, saying that they got the best quarterback that year. So I'm going to go ahead on and say the Saints win this game just for bragging rights. This is like a mini preview of the future of the NFC. Week 7 in Paris. That'll be a nice vacation for me. That would be a nice vacation for me to go to Paris to watch Pittsburgh and New Orleans in Paris. Take the wifey to Paris. Listen, that would be a nice one. That'll be a nice one. I'm going to have to really think on it. In Paris, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers ain't what they used to be. They're going to have a young quarterback. So I'm going to say the Saints take this one. And become 4-3. It's not really much. It's just that the Steelers are in a rebuild to the point where they need an identity. And anytime you're looking for an identity, you're really in limbo. The Saints was like that for the longest. They're finally starting to find their footing. So I'm going to say the Saints before the bye week is 4-3. Not bad. Listen, that is not bad. That means you still in the hunt. That means you still got a shot. That means you still control your own destiny before you start playing these division games. So 4-3, you cannot snark at that. You cannot snark at that when it comes to this schedule release. You cannot. I think it will be in their best interest. This is the best case scenario for the Saints. Obviously, undefeated is, but come on, let's be realistic. We know they're not going undefeated. But this will be the best case scenario when it comes to the Saints. 4-3 before the bye week. 4-3. Okay, they come off the bye. Week 9. At home. Against the Cleveland Browns. Ooh, I might want to go to that one too. Shador? Remember we was Shador Orleans? Remember we was, and Kellen sat up there and said he's not the type of quarterback we want. Ooh. They passed on him multiple times. Ooh, this might be a sneaky good one. 2 quarterbacks in year 2. I know Dion will be prime. I know if I know the Sanders family, they got a chip on their shoulder. And I know Shador is like, okay, y'all passed on me. Ooh, this one. Ooh. And they got some defensive stalwarts too. Myles Garrett versus Bango. It's gonna be it's gonna be all day for Banks. Man, I don't know how to pick this one either. This one, just like the Giants, it's a toss-up. But I'm gonna be fair and say we can't win them both. We get the Giants one, but we lose this one in a close one because of their defense. That's what I'm gonna say. Because of their defense and their pass rush, we lose this one. Not because of anything off. I think Shough struggles against Cleveland just based on their pass rush. I'm going to go out on the limb and say that. And run game. Saints fail to stop the run. That's going to be my predictions. Okay. At home against the Carolina Panthers, we should absolutely win everything at home. That should be our focus this offseason. Don't leave. We got to get downfield advantage back. It's been forever since we've been absolute steamrolling teams in the dome. It's time to get back to that if we want to be serious about being a playoff contender, Super Bowl contender, and being a winning team. We got to protect home court. So beating the Carolina Panthers, that's 5-4. 5-4 at this point. Still good. You still in the hunt. Now you done beat 2 divisional opponents. You undefeated in the division, and you still hold your own destiny. This is what the Saints need. This is the type of way they have to get off to get to a playoff spot. Then they got Chicago. Okay, that's a way. Soldier Field is always tough to play. Let me see. Noon probably wouldn't be too bad, but it should be a cold weather game. It's always tough to play in Soldier Field. Cold weather. The 5-4. Man, it's tough to play in the cold. But we invested in the run game. How good is Chicago at stopping the run? That's gonna be the answer. And right now we don't know that on paper. But I'm gonna say the Saints sneak this one out. They sneak this one out based on Tyler Shough's heroics. And they win a close one by a field goal against the Chicago Bears. That's what I'm going to go with. Cincinnati away. Another potentially cold game. Man, you go from Chicago. I'm gonna say they lose this one. Why? Because it's hard to go on the road in cold weather environment and win 2 back-to-back. How committed is Kellen to the run? That's another question. How committed is Kellen to the run this season? I know he signed some backs, but you still have to show me that you're committed to it. So I'm going to go, that's an L. Now we are 6-5. We're 6-5. Green Bay, I'm going to just chunk that as an L. Green Bay is a really talented team. And it's at home, but still, I'm not sure if Kellen can call a game where he can compete with that type of firepower. I think the Saints can win it, but until Kellen show me he's like that, when it comes to his team, not the Philadelphia Eagles, his team, I'm going to chunk that as a loss. 6-6. Carolina again. In Carolina. Man. And it's a close game. Man. I'm going to say Carolina win that one. Saints are 6-7. They dropped their first divisional game. They're now 2-1 in the division. Then they go on a road in Tampa. Oh, man. They're 6-8. They lose against Tampa. Why? Why do they lose? Because Ruben Bain gets his get back. I'm calling it here. Ruben Bain has been waiting on the Saints. They've been pumping it up all offseason in the locker room. The Saints passed on you. Ruben Bain gets his get back. Week 15. Saints are 6-8. Against the Cardinal, that's a dub. We're not even at home against that's a dub. 7-8. Against the Falcons, everybody get your roll on because we sweeping the Falcons. Yeah, I said it in their hometown. It's another home game. We sweeping the Falcons. We sweeping the Falcons. So that's what? 8-8? That's 8-8. Okay, last one home against the Bucs. This one might be for the division. Again, against the Bucs. This one might be for the division, which will put the Saints at 9-8. And I'm going to say Kelvin Banks and company stifles their pass rush against Kalijah Kancey, Ruben Bain, and others, and win the division at 9-8 with only 2 losses in the division. That's what I think. I think the Saints are going to go 9-8 and potentially sneak into a division home game. It's my prediction. Now, I can also see them going 8-9. Well, the Bucs sweep us. So I wouldn't be surprised there either. So it's really a toss-up. The Saints season is really a toss-up. But because there's so much unknown, there's so much uncertainty, and there's so much we haven't seen from Kellen Moore and company with his new offensive weapons, his new tight ends, his new running backs. Is Kamara still on the team? There's so many questions that we still have yet to have answered. But it's still exciting to go through this to see a roadmap that they can actually do it. Now, me personally, if I'm being honest with you, I can't lie. Looking at the schedule, I don't think they can win a division. I don't think they can make the playoffs. If I'm being realistic, if I'm being optimistic, their best path to me is 9-8. To me. Now, can they surprise some people and win more games? Absolutely. Can they surprise some people and lose more games? Absolutely. You just don't know. But if I'm looking at it on paper, if I'm looking at it based on what they did last year coming into the season, the offseason free agency draft, 9-8 is their best case scenario to me. Does Tyler Shough take the a next step? Does he take a step back? Does Kellen Moore take a step forward, or does he take a step back? Does the defense take a step back, or do they take a step forward? Is the pass rush going to hold up? All of these questions need to be answered. Is Danny Stutzman ready? Is Kool-Aid McKinstry and Quincy Riley ready? You know, there's so many question marks that's going to get answered, that needs to get answered to be realistic about the Saints having a shot. And remember, it's just year 2 of the rebuild. It's just year 2. So we can't sit up here and just assume that the Saints are going to make the playoffs. I know it's wishful thinking. I know on paper doesn't mean anything. But if I'm looking at it on paper and I'm stacking them up against other teams, 9-8 realistically is a path to the playoffs for them in winning the division. Now, them actually doing it, we're going to find out. That's why we do what we do. That's why we do what we do. But based on the information we have in front of us, based on the information we have on paper, the Saints look to be primed to sneak in the playoffs. To sneak in. Or they're primed for defeat. Because I can see some of those games, like the Giants game, going either way. Some of those cold weather games, the Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals, going either way. Against the Bucks, I mean, listen, Bucks, all they did was get defense. So what if their defense is just that stingy next year? I mean, so there are so many variables, and you know defense win championships. So if they can have a good read on how to stop the Saints, it's going to be trouble. They lose them 2 games. That may be the division for them. So there's so many ways it can go. I just think they're teetering with playoff contention. That's what I would say. The Saints are teetering with playoff contention. But one false move, one mistake is all over for them. The questions remain again. Can they pass rush? Can sustain a pass rush for the entirety of the 2026 NFL season? Does Kellen Moore and Tyler Shough relationship take a massive jump in year 2? And does the defense take a step back or a step forward with so many unanswered questions? That's the main thing. And I think if the Saints answer a lot of those questions early on, they'll be all right. But if it still remains a mystery week 6, week 7, week 8, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. So we're going to see if the Saints actually have what it takes to get there. We're going to see. It's been a fun offseason. It's been a hype-filled offseason. It's been a lot of additions to the team. We're going to see if they're prime rear. We're going to see. We're going to see if they T-bone state. We're going to see. You know, we're going to see. Because right now, they look good. But looking good doesn't mean anything when everybody strap up. So I think the Saints, my prediction is that they're going 9-8 and hosting a playoff game. It's just me. That's what I see on paper. Depending on what happened over the next couple of months, it could be different. It can go up, it can go down. But right now, and last but not least, forgot about this. Does Jordan Tyson stay healthy all season? That's another one. Can Jordan Tyson stay healthy and not miss a substantial amount of time this season? So it's question mark. It's too many ifs. And that's usually spelled doom. But stranger things have happened. So without further ado, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And I hope y'all enjoyed the 2026 schedule release show. I hope I gave y'all some honest. I don't want to hype y'all up. I'm going to give you the honest feedback on the schedule release. I'm going to give y'all the honest feedback on what I think the Saints can do next season. I know y'all be wanting this overhype. No, let's be realistic. This is a young team. We got to be realistic, man. I know y'all want to just blow everybody off the turf and off the grass field, but it doesn't work like that. People get paid to strap up to feed their families too. But without further ado, man, I appreciate everything y'all do. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. A lot of y'all ain't subscribed, but y'all watching the videos. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. And as always, thank you for watching the Saints Sports Corner.